so we can go ahead and put our tools away. Now, before we start sanding, we want to make sure that the tool rest is out of the way. We don't want this up here while we're sanding and creating a pinch pointer or getting in our way. So behind the tool rest, there's this little brass nut here. Go ahead and loosen that up. We'll take the tool rest completely off, just set it aside. I like to tighten this back down just so it doesn't vibrate out and get lost. Okay, so we got that done. It's out of the way. We have full access to our pen blanks. Now, sandpaper, we're going to need 3 grits. Okay, on the back of the sandpaper there should be a number that tells us what grit it is or how coarse or fine the sandpaper is. So we're going to start with some 150. That'll be the most coarse sandpaper we use. And then we'll move up to a 220 grit. That's kind of medium. And then we'll go up to a 320 to finish. So 150, 220, and 320. Okay. So we go to sand it. We're going to fold our sandpaper in half or in quarters. Go ahead and turn on the lathe. And come up underneath, and with this 150 grit, we're gonna try to get rid of any other tool marks we have. Like I said, 150 is pretty coarse. It's going to take off a lot of material, so be careful not to change your shape. So we do want to get rid of all those big tool marks. The 150 is going to scratch it, and you'll see it scratching it as you use it. That's okay. I like to fold the sandpaper into 2 or 4 layers. That helps keep the heat on the first layer because it does build up some friction and you can burn your fingers. Okay, keep the sandpaper moving. Change positions on the sandpaper. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All of our tool marks are out. It's relatively smooth. It's scratched up from the 150, but that's okay. Next sandpaper we're going to use is 220. Again, I'm going to fold it. The scratches are going to be smaller and progressively. Okay, that was the 220. We have all the big scratches out that we put in it from the 150. Now our last grit is going to be 320. Again, I'm going to fold it. And with this stage, this grit of sandpaper, I should be able to see all of the scratches disappear. Okay, good. All the scratches are gone. It's really smooth. I'm ready for finish. Use this friction polish. Putting the finish on is pretty simple. We're going to use some Kleenexes. Take a couple Kleenexes. Take the finish. Dab a little bit onto the Kleenex. Make sure you put the lid back on the finish. We don't want to spill it. Okay, we got some polish on our Kleenex. We're going to go ahead and apply it. We want to do one good coat. Okay, we'll let that dry for a few seconds. And we're going to apply our second and final coat. Now with our second coat, we want to hold it on there just a little bit longer. And we want to build up a little bit of friction. Okay, we want to melt that finish. You can kind of see it turn glossy. You can see it starting to shine now.
Again, build up a little bit of friction. You want it to warm up just a little bit. You see it turn glossy. Get a good shine.
Okay, our finish is on. We're ready to remove it from the lathe and assemble our pen. Okay, so we're going to do everything in reverse. We're going to take off the tailstock. Remove the bushings. Remove our pen blanks. Put all our bushings back on the mandrel. Reinstall our tailstock. And reinstall our tool rest. Do not leave the lathe all broken down and parts everywhere. Leave it the way you found it, all put together, ready for the next person. Okay, our sandpaper, we can put in our sandpaper box. Get a brush and we'll clean off the lathe.